Omnia Pro gives you the confidence to eliminate dead water on thousands of lakes across the U.S. Exclusively through Omnia, utilize our map layers containing critical real-time satellite information to see water temperature, water clarity, and important weather data all in one place, along with 1-foot contours for navionics and detailed CMAP social mapping. Matched with Omnia's industry-leading loyalty credit program on all your tackle and gear needs, this is the only app you need in your arsenal for success on the water.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. It is day 5, guide day edition. We did a dozen of these last year where we took some of the top guides from around the country, from Florida to California. We did a little saltwater. We did bass. We did clown knifefish, primarily bass though. And one of these, this whole kind of episode started a couple years ago. Spoiler alert, we're bringing it back. This is a day 5 guide day show today. A couple years ago, I got a DM from a dude down in Texas, and he was like, man, I watched the show, I listened to the show, you got to come down here. I got like an open day, we're doing some pretty unique stuff, some pretty cool stuff. So I go down, and I talked about it on the show. It was Brandon Burks, and at the time, you know, he had a boat. He had a 9-inch like Gen 1 Lowrance he was working with, and he was scoping these giants in a way that I had never seen. Super unique. I drove 7 hours overnight, no sleep, got in the boat with him. We had 2 bites. I missed one, and then I caught an 8-pounder. But the way he was doing it, I was like, dude, this guy knows his stuff, and it's kind of a once in a lifetime. So then I kind of started thinking, I was like, man, like, you see the pictures of the fish, you show the pictures of the fish and stuff, but people who come down and like experience it and do it, it's something so different that you expect, you know, you're going down, you're casting out, the fish are biting it, you're catching a bunch. And I was like, this is something that needs to be explained, talked about, because this is a skill set that doesn't exist. And I think you could have guys that would come down and expect to catch 20, 30 fish with 1 12-pounder mixed in, or you have guys that are expecting to do something. This is not it. But I'm also hesitant to, you know, by the time you travel and do it, you're a couple $1,000 in on this thing, and you want to know exactly what you expect. So I know a bunch of guides from Big JP, Travis Manson, up in the Northeast. I went out with Captain Benny Florentino out of Catalina Island to do some calico bass fishing out in California. Captain Justin Jones down in Florida. You know, he does the artificials, the big giant Okeechobee bass. Guides out of Roland Martin Marina there. Also does some clown knife fish on the side. Anyway, I've stayed in touch with Brandon. He's fished a couple Bassmaster Opens over the course of the time. And, you know, you watch the stuff on social media. It's real easy to see guys just post big, giant fish pictures. But I like the way the guy's doing it. I've been down there myself to this lake a couple different times. He's always down there grinding it out in 110 degrees by himself with clients, sleeping in his truck, staying in hotels to get this. Upgraded the boat, upgraded the truck, really kind of made a name for himself in that Texas area as a big bass specialist. And recently, he's been doing some cool stuff. And it's no longer a 9-to-5 guide day. He's been getting out at night. He's been fishing during the day. He's got kind of his own line of bait. So I said, all right, we need to do an official guide day with this. I want to get you on. And we did it great because he's actually at a hotel right now in West Texas with his guide client Grant, who actually drove 16 hours to get there to fish it. And not 12 hours ago, last night, Grant caught a 13-pound largemouth with Brandon. So we'll bring Brandon in right there. Was that a fair introduction there, Brandon?
Yeah, that was pretty fair. I don't ever sleep in my truck, but I've got an RV about 15 minutes from the lake. And,
okay, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So how long have you been guiding for?
It's been about 4, almost 5 years. I spent 3 years at OHIV, and I've been 2 years at the lake that I'm at now. A little over 2 years now.
Yeah, and obviously, if you book with Brandon, if you're from the West Texas area, we'll just get that right out of the way right now. Not into blowing up lakes. This is a well-known lake. There's a lot of other guides who do guide on it, but there's no sense in GPS coordinating it for it. But it's impossible to get to unless you really, really want to get there. So you're good to go on that. But how did you get into it? Were you just a big fish guy? Did you just enjoy fishing? Or I always enjoy kind of right off the bat, kind of the backstory on how you end up from fishing to guiding, because it's not for everybody.
Man, to be honest, a kid just the other day on Instagram, he was like, how did you get into guiding people? And I didn't want to write it because I'm like, it's too long to explain. But growing up, my dad, he's about as hardcore bass fisherman as you'll find. He's fished tournaments my entire life since I was little bitty. So that's pretty much all I've ever known. I enjoyed it, so I liked it a lot, and grew up always fishing tournaments. Once I got my own boat, I started fishing some local tournaments and was doing really good, won Angler of the Year a couple years in a row. And I'd won a tournament one night, and I was leaving the boat ramp, and two guys that I fish against, they were like, hey, Brandon, they were like, hey, would you ever think about guiding somebody? And it was like, are you serious? Like, that doesn't, I wasn't even thinking that, but they were like, man, we've watched what you do. We've seen where you catch them, and we've tried to go out and duplicate it, and we just can't do it, and they were like, would you take us out and show us? And they were actually my first two clients. And so I took those two guys out, and then right that next spring is when OHIV went off. Zark caught the 16. The very next day, me and my dad went out. My dad caught a 1340 and I caught a 1240 the same day. And then I've just had my foot on the gas ever since then,
Really? And it's just kind of grown and grown and grown. And it's just kind of an organic growth, primarily through Facebook posts and Instagram posts. And it was one here, one there. I know when I went with you, you were really trying to expand it. I think you had a handful, but you were probably 60-70% open at the time.
Yeah.
What has that kind of progression been like over the last 3 years? Because you do exclusive trophy guiding. Like, you don't go out and say, hey, we're going to catch 102 pounders on other lakes. You stick to
it's real
2
niche.
or 3 lakes, and it's all big.
Real niche. I wanted it to be a niche. I didn't want just anybody that wanted to go catch a fish. I want the guys that are like me, that are hardcore, that are, addicted to bass fishing, that want to catch a big fish. I've spent thousands of hours staring at the screen, learning that whole forward facing sonar aspect. And then I got a website, that helped big time. So pretty much the past year, I keep it open Monday through Thursday, and, until the summer hit, and really it's been busy this entire summer because of this night deal, but it's been about four days a week the entire year, just booked up. So
you mentioned the screen. One of the things, this is a specialty, active target live scope trip. Like, this is detailed. Like, if you come, you are standing on the front deck, and we'll show some videos here. We may even have a special guest in the next segment pop in here in a little bit, but it is a 100% chasing giants. Like, I look at it, the way I describe it to my buddies that I've told it about is it's big game hunting, where you might get 1 or 2 shots, or you might get 5 or 6 shots, or you might go the whole day and never get a shot.
And I did open into a little new window that I didn't catch on the previous year. This year, for about 2 months during the spawn, I didn't scope for 2 months, just strictly up shallow, regular fishing.
Really?
Smashing some big ones, a lot more quality. You're not able to see which ones, how big they are, but it was a lot of fun. We had some incredible days this spring up shallow. Yeah.
I'm going to bring in some pictures here just to show some people. And what are your social medias again, just right off the bat?
Most of them are just Burks Fishing. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's all Burks Fishing. So
this gets a lot of attention. Like this, I mean, how big is that fish?
That one was 1305. It was just under, let me see when I caught that one.
1305 on that. And these look like absolute genetic freaks. Like the way that the fish are built out of the
that was on June 25th
of this year.
Wow.
Talk about how these fish are built, because I've literally fished coast to coast. I've pretty much fished every major body of water that you can, and these fish are built different than any other fish that I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're definitely like, it's a perfect storm of what's in the lake. They don't have any competition. There's unlimited food source of shad and crappie. Their only competition really is catfish, and they just gorge. I mean, year round. It's people have a misconception because people hit me up and they think from all the other trophy bass lakes that you have to go in the spring to catch the big ones. And I'm like, this lake is different than any time of the year. They literally stay fat year round. The ones we're catching right now look fatter than the ones we caught in pre-spawn. Yeah, that one was shallow bite, no scope.
Big bug eyes, big creamy bellies, dark backs.
Caught 2 over 10 in about 10 minutes, and they had right at 50 pounds that day, all without live scope, but that was in the spring.
So is this a deal where like you bring your own stuff, where everything I see, there seems to be the most obnoxious mega swim jig sticking out of these fish's mouths?
Yeah, for a while, when I first came there, I thought, man, that I was trying to think of how to catch them. I saw fish in the trees suspended, and I came from Ivy where the water is really clear, and you would throw a Texas rig at those fish at Ivy and they would chase it to the bottom. Here, you would throw it by them and they would just sit there. They wouldn't even look at it, And the first time I tried a swim jig, they all freaking chased it out of the tree. And so I connected with a guy, Darren at Spitting Image Jigs, and we came up. I saw that the market, there was no heavier swim jig, good swim jig with a good hook made for big fish that was a heavier swim jig to target these suspended fish. And so he came up with that, and literally that's what I was telling Grant last night. I've caught plenty on other stuff, but that bait right there has literally put hundreds of 10-pounders in my boat.
Pink, orange, white, chartreuse, big, giant, flappy trailers on it. And are you braiding, or is that just 25-pound fluoro on a 7.6 heavy? Yeah, straight fluoro, 20, 25, 7.6 heavy. The biggest thing is the gear ratio of the reel. You want a 7 gear ratio reel. And I just tell people, if you're more comfortable bringing your own equipment, your own reel that you're used to throwing, because you're going to make a lot of casts, it's you're making a lot of casts, so you need something you're comfortable with. But I've got plenty, of course, that if people don't, if you're flying in and you don't want to bring rods, I've got everything. 12 months out of the year too. 12 months out of the year. In the last month, we've had, since June 25th, that's the third one over 13 pounds. I just added it up yesterday. In the last month, we've had 20 over 10 pounds, 2 13-pounders, several 12s. It's been absolutely like I'm on another planet right now. I know Brett Cannon a little bit. I know he's kind of does some big bass hunting. I think he made the mistake of dipping into the salt water. And Jeff Crete once said, once you get into the salt water and they're big and they pull and they bite every single cast, it's hard to go back to bass fishing. So it'll be interesting there. But there is like this weird, it seems kind of competitive, underground, little macho kind of giant bass scene with a handful of guys in Texas. And I mean, you are squarely in the middle of that. Like, what's an average day like? I mean, what are the number of boats that you're competing against? Do you work with the other guys? Is there a healthy amount of competition amongst you all? That's an interesting question. I've done some stuff, like with Jack York on Lake Fork, and he's like, dude, like it's the most competitive thing. I mean, you've got 50 guys that are all trying to get out, but when I've been there, it doesn't seem like there's many guys that are willing to put the time in to get good at this. It's such a remote place that probably, just on a busy night, there might be 10, or a busy day, there might be 10 boats, but most of the time it's 1 to 5, 1 to 10 boats. It's getting out there. More people are wanting to come and try. But the thing is a lot of people see my pictures, and they find out where I'm at, and they come and they try, and they drive all the way out here, and then they zero. And it's just not a numbers place. It's not a place that you're just going to go out and just be able to catch them just by, you got to know exactly what to look. It's precision, it's different. It's not easy for sure. Getting ready for the show, I was talking with you about that, and I said, Arbuckle's the same thing there. In the winter, you'll see, Buddy Cranford, I fished that tournament there, and he had a 43-pound bag, and there were like 4 fish over 10 weighed in. But what people don't understand is you don't just go show up and catch those big fish. It's kind of odd how it seems like those, and there were 150 boats in the parking lot for the next 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden there'd be 50 and 20 and 10 because you drive, you go, you suck. But
Mhm.
it almost seems like those freak show lakes, and there's a lot of them, and a lot of them have been exposed, not exposed, but a lot of forward-facing sonar has shown big fish that live in lakes that we didn't know were there before,
Yeah.
all catch and release too. But it seems like the lakes with the big giant ones in it are the hardest to catch fish out of. Would you agree with that?
They don't get that big. That's what I tell people. They don't get that big for no reason. It's not because they're dumb. It's no different than a big deer. You just don't see giant antlered deer running around everywhere. You know what I mean? They're smart. They get that big for a reason, you know?
You mentioned Grant. Is he still sitting next to you?
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah, bring him into the show.
Yeah.
Grant, thanks for jumping on Bass Talk Live. Greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
So you drove or flew, or your home is 16 hours away, and you're in a hotel in BFE, fishing all night and then sleeping all day. Did I get that story right? For 6 days, like this is your yearly trip?
Well, I come 2 times a year.
Okay.
I own a couple different businesses, so I just come when I can, man. That's what's so crazy about my story is like, I really don't plan this out like, oh, the fish are biting during this time or whatever and go. It's like, this is when I'm able to go. And I've just gotten extremely lucky for some odd reason. I flew down the first 2 times and then I've driven down twice. This is my 2nd time this year. So
how'd you find out about Brandon?
Man, I saw him online and I had been looking at some guides and I was like, as soon as I saw him online, I was like, that's the one I think I want to go with. And it wasn't probably 2 months later. And I just kept talking to my girlfriend about it. Like, yo, I'm getting ready to go do this thing. And she's like, yeah, I don't care, babe. I'm like, but it's such a huge thing, you know? And, and actually she bought me a day. This is what I call my birthday trip.
Okay.
Cause my birthday was like a week and a half ago. So, it's just been incredible.
He's experienced like the literal somehow, some way, every time that he can, not every time. We've had some tougher days, but he's experienced the highest of highs. Like we've caught in one day that I think it was the first time you came.
Yeah.
We had 5 over 10 pounds in one day.
It's like 56 pounds or
like
something.
56 pounds. It was the best day I've ever had in my life. I mean, just downright incredible. Everything went perfect. I mean, it was the best day I've ever had. Then he comes back, you know, we've had multiple, the start of this week, you could,
my first day
numbers
here
are crazy.
I had 3 DDs my first night here. And I thought, and I also thought too, you know, like I'm pretty dialed in now because I've learned so much from Brandon. Like, don't give us a night where they're biting real good because we'll wreck them. You know,
and you knew what you were getting into when you first signed up. You knew you'd be standing next to him. You knew you could catch nothing. You knew you could catch 5. You knew you'd be casting at fish with big tackle on scope and maybe getting 1 or 2 chances a day to put the fish of a lifetime in a boat.
Oh, I knew it. Yeah, 100%. My friends laughed. They're like, "You're gonna go down there and do that?" And I'm like, "Yes, absolutely." I have active target at home, so I was, you know, I was familiar with the process. I've never seen things like we're throwing at though. You know, I would see these and probably think like, oh, it must be like a 50-pound catfish or something, you know. But yeah, so it's been incredible.
So I get a text from Brandon this morning and he's like, dude, I gotta send you one more video. So so I think I've got it. I think I've got it to the point. We'll watch this entire screen. Now I have not listened like to all the way through with audio, so there may be a choice word. But when you're holding the 13-pounder, I feel like you're at liberty to say whatever you want to say. So there it is, and I haven't even hit the play button, and you can already tell that this is a freak show. So what time did this go down this morning, the day that we're recording it?
We've been meeting at the lake about 9 o'clock, and last night was the very first spot we went to. 30 minutes in, we see that one, he catches it, and it just ruined the whole night.
Yeah,
like we were on such a
I couldn't fish, man. After that, I was like, I didn't know what I should go do, you know.
All right, here we go.
I was just telling you before we came out, I've never caught a teener.
Oh my god,
Can't say that anymore. This is my 1327. This is my 11th double digit with Brandon Burks. Oh my god. I'm gonna let her go.
oh, such a freaking monster, dude.
That is so cool.
Giant, man.
A 13-pounder. So you're like how many casts to this fish? Like how long did you have to stalk it? Like,
Man, this is different because it doesn't happen like this usually, but that was the first cast that I put right in her face. It's not about how many times you cast though, it's about getting the perfect angle. And Burks is so good with that trolling motor, man. It's it definitely makes it a little bit easier, you know. So
but yeah, first cast, he came by her perfectly, threw a dime on her, and she smashed it and ran about 1,000 miles an hour towards the boat. And
yeah,
I missed her the first time with the net because it's dark, and we finally got her in the net, and we were just both freaking out, you know.
And in this bass too, she did not just jump once or twice. I mean, seriously, it was like a heart attack. I never really got a good hook in her because she started swimming at me directly as soon as she felt what was going on. Swimming at me, she brings me around the side of the boat, then she flops out of the water 4 or 5 times. We can't get it in the net. we get it on the deck, and I was like, oh my gosh, her back was just so tall. I knew I'd never caught a bass that big before. And I don't know, that's when the freak out started, man. I don't even know what we said.
Is that one of those like where when you hit it, it just doesn't move, like your rod goes and just stops?
No,
or
I thought she was 7 or 8 pounds, to be honest.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I really
did.
She ate it and ran. I mean,
Okay, like swam through the jig kind of towards you on an angle. One of those where when you caught up to it, you were like, "Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one," and then you were like, "Oh my god!"
I caught a 1063 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and it didn't. Maybe it moved 3 inches when I set the hook, and I dropped it on her, you know. But
I've got some more videos here. I think there's some audio on that too. Is that you, Grant, too?
Yeah, this was the first.
This is my second biggest bass.
So we'll pause it right here. So Brandon, you're up there. So this is what you expect. You've got the screen. So you're up there. You're running the trolling motor, and then how long, like on average, does it take? I mean, like you can tell just by the way, like Grant casts and is holding the fish. He's no stranger to a rod and reel. He's caught a few fish in his day. But you get an average bass fisherman to come in. Like, how long does it take before you guys are kind of working in tandem? They understand the system. They're putting that jig on fish 50, 60 feet out in front. Like, is there a big learning curve? Or does it kind of just depend on the angler?
It depends on the angler, but it also depends on your forward-facing experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if I had some guys just a week and a half ago, a father and a son, and they had never, they had it. They told me they had it, so I thought they were good. But then we got out there, and they had never used it successfully. They had it on their boat, but they didn't know what they were looking at or anything. They didn't know how to target them. So it took about maybe 2 hours of explaining and them casting. And I just tell people the more reps that you can get at a fish, every fish that we see in every cast, that's a rep. And the more reps you can get, the better you'll get at it. You know what I mean? As the night goes on.
All right, let's watch this. So this is what the day consists of. You guys standing in the front, hunting absolute giants. And then like, I know like when I see a giant, when I was with Brandon and things like that, like there's that moment where you're like, oh, it's go time.
Yeah.
Like you got one dialed in. You can tell it's hunting. Here we go.
16-inch Lowrance live.
Oh.
That some bitch kind of myself, didn't I?
Funny story on this one too is Burks was actually back doing something in his boat, and I spotted this one, and I was like, "Yo, keep me on this one right here." And that was what was so unique about this fish.
So that fish looked like it was like what, like 6-7 foot down, 30 foot in front of the boat, just hanging out.
I think she was more like 11 foot down. If I had, yeah.
But I mean, that couldn't have been more than 30, 40 foot out. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, we were following her for a second.
That was also in like end of January, so it's really cold. The fish are kind of sluggish. They're not moving quite as fast as they are in the summer.
So when did you figure out the night deal, Brandon? Because for the last couple weeks, I've seen your post. You've been texting. I mean, for the previous years, I hadn't seen the night posts. Like this seems like it's has opened up a whole nother realm.
Man, I figured it out last year. I did it quite a few times in the fall, but I didn't do it quite as much early in the summer. He came last year at this time, and we fished during the day, and we still caught some good ones. But
It's tough.
It's been incredible just learning. Once it gets hot, that a lot of these fish, they feed at night. They feed at night, and you've got quite a few advantages. They can't see you. You got to be even more precise, even more precision. But seeing a lot of targets. I just think that they come out at night to feed. The shad gets real high in the water.
I mean, those are absolute units. And then how long do you fish for? You said you get on the water at like 9. Is there
9 to 2, 3, whenever we get tired, maybe go to 4 or 5, but just depends on how the night goes. Yeah, that one you just showed, that's a 13. That was less than a week ago. Last Wednesday, that guy caught that one. That one weighed 13-12.
What are the dimensions on that fish? Do you
20? It was 25 inches long. 25 inches long. I don't know. The girth's like almost 22 inches. Like,
good Lord.
They've got a different kind of build. Like the head, the back is like literally this wide. Like those ones, like at the lake I'm at, I tell people if you get one that's 25 or 26 inches, it's going to be close to 13 pounds,
Here's another one. I don't think this isn't the same one I just showed, is it?
No, this is in the summer. This is
another. Bull! That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the hook set.
Yeah, he smashed that.
Watch this one. Oh,
the rod freaking doesn't move.
And what is that? A 7.6 extra heavy?
Yeah, just not an extra heavy, just a heavy.
Okay. Oh, this must have been early in the day because you didn't even have the net out.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these fish are airborne too. That's another thing about them. These are not normal fish that I've caught. They don't give up. I mean, this one tried to get out of the live well like 4 times last night. Like jumped out successfully once. It's insanity, man.
Yeah, that was another client's first 10-pounder.
Really? And then it's all catch and release. You put him in the box. You let him chill out. You take pictures. Take girth, length, dimensions. I would imagine a lot of your guys, Brandon, go back and that's a replica that's in their office, or depending on how cool their wife or girlfriend is, above the fireplace.
Enter it into ShareLunker and get a replica. Yeah, that's.
So how many ShareLunkers have you caught now, or have you guided?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to add it up. This year, I've had 2 or 3 over 13 pounds this year. ShareLunker season, it just depends. The ones that you donate are from January to March. What's crazy is a lot of the ones that I've caught have been like in the summer.
How big is a 13 in like February?
See, that's
like that one you caught last night. Like what? I mean, do you think it would have to be an extra pound or 2 with eggs in it?
I don't know, dude. I think these fish are so fat that they don't gain that much extra weight. Like, I don't know where it would go, but I don't think they get. I don't know. Maybe they don't produce much eggs because they're so fat. There's something.
That's fair. Primary forage, small crappie, gizzard, shad, bluegill, that type of stuff.
Yeah, shad and crappie, gizzard, shad and crappie.
And they look bigger right now than they did even back in February.
Yeah,
to me, it's insanity. Actually, I don't understand that, like how big they are.
That's what I was saying about. I have lots of guys that hit me up and they're like, "I want the spring. I want to come in the pre-spawn," and I'm like trying to explain to them that these fish stay fat year round. Like you do not have to just come in the spring to have a shot at a DD. Like this is unlike anywhere else. It's not a numbers place like Mexico. Mexico's got tons of big ones, but it's just different, man. The way it's set up, it's just different.
What would you have your expectations at? Like, have you had clients that come and don't catch a fish for 2 days?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not 2 days, but
it's not a guarantee that you're going to catch a big one. It's like mountain goat hunting is what I told you before. Like my buddy who like stalks a goat maybe gets a shot at one.
You're going to get 1 to 5 bites a day most of the time, and I tell people if you get 1, it's usually your biggest fish. If you get 5, it's probably the best day you've ever had fishing in your life.
Wow.
Sunday night, me and him, we had a really good night. We caught 9 fish and they were all over 8 pounds. he had 3 over 10. That was in one night.
Mm-hmm.
And my smallest was like 8 pounds. I was telling him my best 5 just from this 3-day trip so far is like 54.28 or something.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes, Brandon, I see in the clips you have a rod. Sometimes you don't have a rod. I know one of the big talking points, some would say, about guiding in this part of the neck of the woods is there may be instances where guys are like, hey, watch me catch this big one. And you're like, cool, I just paid a guy a crap ton of money to watch him catch a big fish. How does that work? Does that kind of depend on with your clients, like as far as teaching them, like where you're trying to do it, showing how the fish react, or
yeah, definitely. I think like Grant's a good example. He's always came by himself. You know, if there's 2 people, I'm going to have a person on each side, and I'm probably not going to be making a lot of casts, but you'd still, if you've never done it, you've got to see it done right. You know, it helps to see it. And I think that's why he's had the numbers that he's had, is because he's went cast for cast with me for the most. I'm still trying to give my client the first chance, the second chance, third. You know, I'm giving you the best opportunity, especially if we see a big one. But it makes a difference seeing it done right.
Yeah, as a little bit of a leading question, because I knew you'd sent me one video with 2 dudes who are up there. I mean, you're in the middle.
Yeah,
you're scoping them, and it looks like they're taking alternate casts at the fish. And I mean, at this point, it's kind of 50-50, right? It's like whoever gets it in front of that fish, who twitches it right, is going to bow up.
The more, you know, the more throws you can get on that. You only get so much amount of time when you see one before it goes away, you know, before you lose it. So you got to make as many presentations as you can.
Yeah, we got a double cast here.
And I can chime in on this too. If you actually follow, like if the fish is swimming to the right and you see where Burks throw it about a foot or so to the right of it. You know what I mean? And actually you can use his bait and his splash as like a
guide
target for you, you know? So I used to tell him when I first got down there, I was like, hey man, come on, throw with me. Plus I think it's more fun when we both, you know?
So I also wanted to use this clip as an example then. You could be out there, and I'm keeping it real because this is guide day. I want people to know what they're getting into. You could be out there for 4 hours in 110-degree heat, see one flathead catfish, make a bad cast on a bass that you can't find that gets lost in a bait ball, and you're going, what the hell? And then in a 30-second span, it can go from what's going on, and I think we've got audio on this. I hope there's audio on this.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. That is a monster right there.
What the heck is that?
What
they do? It's like literally.
I mean, dude, that's like some happy ass guys.
Dude, that's like, you know what I mean? To catch a 12-pounder for most people or something, you know, that one weighed like 12 something, but like, that's just, you can't do that every day anywhere else, man. It just doesn't, that's what everybody's going for.
I usually ask this to the guide. I'll ask you this, Grant. It sounds like you've done this in the winter at daylight. You've done it in the summer during the day. You've done it pretty much you've also experienced it at night. Pretend Brandon isn't sitting next to you and I'm going, oh dude, I want to go out and do that. Like when would you say, like, out of all the different experiences, would you say like, this is the one, like I get one more day on it. I'm picking this time of the year, this time of the day, whatever.
Man, that's a tough question because prior to me coming down this time, I would have said probably like the end of January because we wrecked them that one day. It was, I think it was January the 30th or something like that. We absolutely wrecked them. But this trip here has probably been my best trip. So you got 2 totally opposite sides of the spectrum. Both times we're nailing them, man. I mean, and honestly, it does seem like the fish that I've got in front of on this trip have eaten it a lot faster than they did back in January or back last July. I mean, there was, I don't know. I'm going to say maybe I would say right now is probably the best time that I've had. So
that's nighttime for those listening at a time. We're recording this on July 30th. So, I mean, it is the heat of the summer.
Should run all the way through August. I did it a lot last year during the fall. So it should continue.
Now, you're scoping these fish. They're giant fish. Obviously, you can't have a high density of giant fish in a lake. Are you like catching pets, Brandon, or are you catching a lot of clean fish?
A lot of clean fish. I mean, people are gonna say it's the same fish, but I'm telling you right now, it would blow your mind if you knew how many thousands of giant ones are in there. You know what I mean? Like, I've caught a few that I know are the same fish, but for the most part, you're like, they don't weigh the same. They don't measure the same. You know what I mean?
I'm not seeing like hook marks or anything around the mouths of them. I'm seeing different markings on a lot of your fish.
Yeah. I would say there's way more in there than you could ever imagine.
There was actually another one on the graph when I caught that teener last night that looked maybe bigger than the one that I casted at. And I was about to cast it. And Burks was like, no, cast it this one. And I did, and bang, first cast. So like you might be looking at the screen and see 3 DDs on it at one time, you know, and you're like, which one do I throw at? Because it all happens so fast, you know, and you can only follow one. So
there's the view right there. So you have it all set up. Oh, you got a beat down mount.
Yeah.
Heck
Yeah.
Those things are amazing to get it off the ground.
Yes.
I had missed this fish on probably like 8 casts, and then on that 9th one.
Oh my gosh, that's a cold water fish.
That thing is a whale. I'm actually getting a replica made of that one.
Be a 12. Yeah. Might be a 12.
What's a 12-pound replica these days?
I don't even. He hasn't told me the price yet. He just told me
$25 an inch, about a 7-month turnaround.
Okay, and you got a guy, if people want to do it down there and stuff, you send it to him, you know how to take all the pictures. And what percentage of guys would you say plan on getting a replica of a fish that they catch with you? I mean, it'd have to be 50%, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're expensive, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would guess quite a few of my clients have gotten replicas made. I know quite a few of them have got them made, but
very cool. Anything else that's like super pertinent information about this that you want to make sure that you get in here for anyone who's thinking about coming down? Do you take care of tell them like, hey, here's where I would stay, here's where it is, they meet you at the ramp, or do you pick them up at the hotel? Like, what does just a typical day look like for you?
Typical day, they're gonna stay about 20 minutes from the lake I've got a nice hotel that I usually send all my clients that stay at 20 minutes from the lake. Show up, meet at the ramp, hop in, go out, and then go back on your way. But all my information, you can find it at burksfishing.com. My website shows all my availability, all my booking info, pricing, everything is on there. It's made it really convenient and easier for me to not have to go back and forth. But you can message me, text me on Facebook or whatever, and get if you have any questions about booking or any of that.
Like, what's your availability like for the rest of the year? I've seen you post sometimes, like, you know, the bites, like you're not scared to say, hey, like the bite's tough, or you're not scared to say like, hey, I got a day open next week and we've been mowing them down.
Pretty much the rest of the year, it's pretty. I've got some bookings, but you know, it's pretty open for summer is when usually the slowest time. This nighttime deal has been.
That's me.
Yeah, there you are.
I have been on the website before. Yeah, look at how happy I am on that. So, if there is Dallas the closest airport?
Grant would be better to answer this question.
Like, what is it? You're traveling. Like, I'm assuming you're from a state where like 10-pounders or 10-pounders are not exceptionally common.
No, I'm from Kentucky, so I live in Grange, Kentucky, pretty close to Louisville. My first time I came down, I flew into Lubbock, Texas.
Okay.
Usually there's a layover in Dallas, so it just depends on how long your layover is. If you got a long layover, just fly to Dallas, because it's about a 3-hour drive from there to where we stay. Otherwise, if there's not much of a layover, you can fly into Lubbock, rent a car, be here in about an hour from Lubbock. So
yeah, it's out there. Very cool. I know you're a big family dude too, Brandon. Like, is that your dad that's out there, and then also your boy catches the hell out of him too? Like, every once in a while, you'll have a day off, and you'll have the old man out there just wrecking.
Oh yeah, like I said, my dad's this hardcore bass.
Was he into it like this, or was there like a day where you were like, "Pops, you gotta get in the boat with me"? Like like you got to see what I can do out here.
Well, we went to yeah, for sure we had that, but at OHIV, we both had Garmin at that time, and he caught a share lunker, a 1340. I caught a 1240 the same day, and just learned and evolved since then. But he's better, he's just as good as me on the fishing side of things. He hasn't quite caught up to me on the forward facing, but he's getting there. He's a hammer. And he's came out several times, gotten to hop in, and he can't run the trolling motor and stay on the fish quite like I can, but
yeah,
he's a hammer. My son,
and you don't have to bring anything. You can just show up at the boat ramp and say, "Let's go catch giants."
I've got everything. I've got everything.
Rods, reels, like run through kind of what you got. I know you just lost a big one. You ended up finding it again.
Yeah, so we had went out the night, not last night, but the night before, and he hooked a 986, and I didn't, like an idiot, I didn't have the net out, so I lifted that middle box to get the net, and it knocked my rod, and I heard it, land, but I didn't know it was dark. Well, when we got the fish done and everything, let the fish go, and we went back up there to start fishing again, I hear my rod go kink, kink into the water. And I'm like, what the heck? And I reached down and I had my rod and I tried to pin it against the bottom of the boat. And it ended up falling. I watched it on live scope fall to the bottom in 35 foot of water. And then I realized it was my Shimano on Terry's, like my highest dollar combo.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out yesterday with like a 2-ounce slip sinker, a bobber stopper, and a giant treble hook. And we drug around, and because luckily I hit a waypoint right where it was, and drug those treble hooks for like an hour, and I finally hooked it.
Mm-hmm. It's no secret. Like this is not like a value trip. This is an experience trip where you're paying to be on a specific fishery to do it with that expertise. It's like $1,000 a day. Still, you shop around in that part of the country and want a shot at those fish, I would venture to say there's not anywhere else where you can have that value of learning experience and that quality of fishing. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I would say that it sounds like a lot, but if you compare it to other prices, if you put my numbers against anybody else that does it, I would say I don't see how it's not kind of a value. You know what I mean? Like it sounds expensive, but then when you think about the numbers I've been putting up, it's really kind of a value compared to some of the other prices that you pay for.
Especially if you've got a buddy that wants to come down, you guys want to try to have a legit shot at cracking a 10-pounder, getting better at your forward facing,
100%.
Split a cost for a couple days, and it's cool.
You're gonna have opportunities, no doubt. Like if you book a trip, you're gonna have opportunities at 8 to 13 pound fish. Guaranteed.
Dude, you're totally wrecked, Grant. Like, how do you even fish in Kentucky now after you know what's happening?
Man, everybody asks me that question. Believe it or not, when I go home and I catch 2-pounders, 3-pounders, I'm still gonna have fun doing it. I just love fishing, man.
Derby fish, tournament fish, or just fun fish?
No, just fun fish. I'm just
very cool.
I'm rigged to fish. Like I could fish like the elites right now with my equipment, but I just I've got a couple businesses, and one day maybe if I have more time, I might try to fish more derbs. But
you get on Cumberland at all? Cumberland's like one of my favorite fisheries.
I don't fish it, to be honest. I live in Kentucky. I mainly fish on Lake Gunnersville.
Okay,
that's a couple
pretty good option.
Yeah. There's a couple small lakes around me that I like too.
Mm-hmm.
But
have you done a guide trip on Gunnersville before?
Yeah, I've got a good friend that's
compare the two. Gunnersville probably gets some of the most guide pressure outside of like a Toledo Bend, Rayburn, and then to this. Like, is there any similarity at all between these two, or is this a one-off surface of the moon deal compared to a normal guide trip that you've been used to?
One-off surface to the moon.
There you go. Sure. That's what I needed to hear. I keep trying to drive that point home to people that this is an unrepeatable experience.
Yeah, I honestly, so I've been to Gunnersville. I've caught 50, 60 bass in a day. I thought when I came down here my first day, I thought I was only going to catch one fish. I'm not saying this so that everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to go out in 15 minutes and catch one, but it was probably 10 minutes in. I caught like a 5-pounder. I was fired up, and he's like, "I'll throw that thing back. We don't care about that." 20 minutes later, I caught a DD. Then I think we caught, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 fish that day. So like it was kind of like a Gunnersville day where we're out here wrecking them. You know what I mean? But totally different. Totally different. And the size of the fish, and when you hook one and the fight that it gives you down here, these F1s don't play, man. They do not play.
Oh my god!
It's an adrenaline rush, man. It's like a drug or something. I was telling him, I was like, like it's like a drug. Like I'm so addicted. Like there's no way I'm not. Even if I was a pro fisherman one day, I would still come down here twice a year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I had Matt Steffen down there. I'm gonna show when you said these fish don't play. That reminded me of it. I'm gonna see how quick I can find this. Come on. Oh, here it is. It's like literally a split second thing on Matt Steffen's deal. But so this was like one of those. We drove 15 hours and saw 2 fish and had one chance at one. Same lake down there. So watch how fast this fish goes from 12 feet in front of the boat to 8 feet behind the boat. Because Matt, I told Matt, I was like, dude, like this is like kind of a moonshot, but we're going for it. Watch how fast this fish moves.
You got him? Oh no!
It was all the way.
That's like that one last night, man.
He set the hook and didn't even
Yeah.
penetrate it. That fish was moving so fast.
That's how the one last night. He was.
Dude, that was like an 8 or 10 pounder.
He just.
Yeah, they do that, man. They're mean. They're so mean. I'm not kidding. This fish jumped out of the live well successfully once or twice last night, and you could hear her banging around in there. Like it was just, they're just mean, man.
Do you do any Ivy anymore, Brandon? Any other lakes? If guys want to get out with you there, if you want to do instructional stuff on other lakes, or you kind of dialed in now? Like
I'm mostly dialed in here. I
Okay.
mean, I go to I've been to Ivy a few times, guys that want to go over there and stuff just to check it out. But this is the place to be. It's hard to leave having opportunities every single day at 10 pounders. Like it's hard to go anywhere else.
And you're in what, a 23, 24 Skeeter?
Yeah, 24 Skeeter, FXR 20, 16-inch Lowrance. You got the beat down mount to get it up high so you're not bending over trying to break your neck looking at the screen.
Bubba scales, the whole 9 yards.
Bubba
You do
scales.
length, girth.
Odie hammer rods, Shimano reels. Yeah, we're dialed in.
Very cool. Well, I wanted to get you on guide day. It's I know how hard you grind out there. Like I said, I've been out there for a couple of those 110-degree days, and I'm like we even got off the water. I saw you out there when I was out there with Stefan, and Matt was like, "Wait, you're telling me this dude does this like every day?" And I was like, "Yep, pretty much." And he's like, I don't think I could. And I'm like, it's a little bit of work, isn't it? And he's like, dude, he's like, when you see, he's scoping them, like, no, you're not scoping them, you're hunting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not like you dump your boat in and they're floating everywhere.
Right. And that's just, I feel like that's kind of where I've gotten even dialed in even more is now over 2 years of doing it. I know exactly what a 10 pounder looks like. I know exactly what a 13 pounder looks like. Some people may catch more, but I don't even mess with I pass up 7, 8 pounders.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we're not fishing for that one. We're looking for a bigger one, you know?
You were passing up 7s and 8s last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, "No, I don't like that one. You don't see the tail moving." I was like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh."
What is the ceiling? Like, what do you think?
I think the
Are
ceiling.
we talking 17, 18, 20 pounders or?
I don't know that it's quite there yet, but I think there's at least a 14 to 15. I watched a guy 2 years ago catch a 14-10. So I know there's one at least that big.
That's my buddy Rick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I love Rick Harris.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I got my Captain Rick hat around here somewhere, but
yeah.
All right, guys. Your schedule for the rest of the day. Then I know you're around. You've been around the last couple nights. You've got your chill out. grab
is
some Mexican for dinner, head to the pond, and hope to catch a 14. I guess is the game plan.
I'm going back to bed, man. I just went to sleep at like 5 a.m. So, but yeah, get some food, go back to the lake. This is my last night. I don't know how I'm gonna top what I did last night, but I'm gonna try. You know, crazier things have happened every time I get with this guy. Crazy things happen. So
there you go. All right, Grant, Brandon.
Matt,
Congratulations. Hey, run your socials, Burks Fishing, BURKS fishing.com. Also Burks Fishing on Instagram,
TikTok, Facebook.
I know. I think I'm going to have to end up getting a TikTok. Courtney's been like, you could put clips of BTL on TikTok and reach a whole younger generation.
I've got like 130,000 followers on TikTok. So
I've never been on it. Never once. I don't even know how to download it. Yeah, never been on TikTok.
Oh,
Are you a TikTok guy, Grant?
man, I downloaded it only because my girlfriend sends me like 100 things from it every day, and I can't view it. But
yeah, I can't either. I just text him back. Can't view it. Sorry.
Yeah. So I do have it for that, but I'm not a huge social media guy. My Instagram's Grant_Thomas_lab LAB.
Okay.
For anybody looking, but I'm not on there a whole lot. It's all just mega bass.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I haven't really met anybody who's that dialed in but doesn't tournament fish and just like I was just talking to another dude back and he's like, I think I'm only gonna fish like 3 tournaments, and I'm like, I'm in a position where I can go do what I want. So why wouldn't I go spend a couple weeks up north, go spend a couple weeks in Mexico, go spend it? He's like, that like every time I do that, I have the best time of my life. He's like, and I put myself in a position to do it. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be me pretty soon. And it kind of is now, but I'm working a lot. I've only fished 7 or 8 times this whole year.
Well, you made the most of it.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, go back to bed. I appreciate it.
Man, thank you, Matt.
Nice
I
to meet
appreciate you having us on, buddy.
All right, see ya. All right. There you go. Brandon Burks, Grant. That's what's going on down in Texas. You got all the details. This has been another edition of Guide Day, and I'm going to try to bring these back more regularly as the year progresses. And we even got like a new song. We'll see if that gets flagged. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.